KCIM Sports presents the Pizza Ranch Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John. Happy Saturday morning, everybody, and welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We've got, 6 coaches we're going to be chatting with here today. Craig Rowetter from the Carroll Tigers set to join us here in just a moment after the Tigers win a district championship. We'll talk with Ryan Steinkamp from the Kemper football team after they win their opening playoff game. Thomas Nelson going to recap the Kemper cross-country season for both the girls and boys. Rusty Wintermote will join us from Kemper volleyball to talk about their win to open up the postseason on Thursday night. Riley Ludwig will wrap up the Carroll volleyball season with us, and Deb Danner going to talk about the Carroll girls swim team. Their season's still rolling on. Of course, they haven't even started postseason yet, so all those interviews coming up for you. But let's start off with some scores from last night. We're going to start in Class 3A District 6 regular season action. Carroll wins the district championship, beating 10th-ranked Atlantic 35-7. It was Harlan over Greene County 48-0, and Creston beat Perry 54-13. Class 2A playoffs, Kemper over Grandview Christian 35-0. It was Spirit Lake falling to Cherokee 58-57 in overtime. Also, it was Pella Christian over Clarinda 27-24. Unity Christian down Okoboji 28-13. OABCIG over Western Christian 34-17. Prairie City Monroe defeated West Liberty 42-6, and Van Meter over South Tama 45-6. Class 1A, Esac falling to West Lyon 48-6. South Central Calhoun loses last night to Underwood 54-8. It was Manson Northwest Webster losing to Lawton Bronson 14-12. West Marshall defeated Shenandoah 38-8. Trainer knocks off Ogden 49-7. It was Ridgeview over Tri-Center 42-27. Emmetsburg last night falls to Hinton by a final of 34-28. So the South Central Calhoun and Esac District all lose last night. All 4 of those teams fall in the opening round. In Class A, it was ICAM Manning losing to West Sioux 45-27. They put up over 400 yards, though, in that loss. It was Earlham losing to Pekin 42-7. ACGC Downs Loma 33-7. Also, Woodbury Central over AHSD of Oka Walnut 21-14. St. Albert loses to Mount Air 55-47, and BGM defeats Riverside 35-30. We move over to the playoffs now in 8-man action. Audubon knocks off Lennox 58-20. Gladbrook Rhinebeck tops Arweva 56-7. A shootout last night between Clarksville and Coon Rapids Bayard, with the Crusaders falling in that game by a final of 78-68. It was GTRA losing to North Union 56-48. It was Southeast Warren over Booyer Valley 46-35. Fremont Mills topped St. Edmund 62-7. Woodbine rolls by Xyroquin Kimballton 78-6. Back with Coach Rowetter coming up next.
Hey, moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carry-out, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM KCM. Jeff Blankman talking right now with Craig Rowetter, the head football coach, of course. With the Carroll Tigers, they pick up a nice 35-7 victory over Atlantic last night to clinch themselves a district championship and a perfect run through the district season. Coach, appreciate you joining us, and congratulations on a great year and a great finish to the regular season.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it was a fun one last night. Kids played tough, and being senior night is just even that more special.
Did this game play out any differently than you thought it might?
Not really. We knew it was going to be a physical game, and it took us a little bit, to get going. I don't want to say we were rusty, but it had been a while since our guys had played a full 4-quarter game against, a team that was going to bring it at you every play. So, the good side of that was we were kind of rested and healthy. Yep. But I think it took us that first half to get, kind of trading blows with them. And like I mentioned last night, it was just kind of 2 mistakes on our end that set them up, to score. And like a good team, they took advantage of that. And, but again, it wasn't panic mode, and our kids, like they have all year, they believe in what we're doing and kind of stayed the course and put it away there in the second half.
With you saying no panic, did you guys have a conversation with them after the back-to-back turnovers, or did you say just kind of figure, hey, they'll settle in and kind of fix things on their own?
Yeah, it wasn't. We just, I think all of our staff just kind of even told them, like, we're fine. Just next play. Don't let the second mistake turn into 3 and 4, and don't let it snowball. So no, they settled in. They knew. I mean, again, it wasn't just one side. It was, we forced the turnover, and then our dang offense gave it back to them, and then we, special teams had a little miscue there too, and but again, it wasn't anything like misaligning to a certain formation or anything like that. So it was, that it's kind of the give and take in the game of football, and you got to be able to respond and not, like I said, not panic.
Coach, I'm going to ask, at halftime last night, it's only 14-7. You guys had a couple of nice drives there in the first half and stuff. I really felt like, even though it was only 14-7, like you guys were clearly kind of the dominant team. Those turnovers, as you mentioned here a moment ago, was kind of what kept them in the game. Did you guys have that feeling at halftime that it's like, if we quit stubbing our own toe, that we'll take command and complete command?
Yeah, and that's what the message was at halftime. There wasn't a lot of, hey, we got to change this, or, think about doing that, instead of what we came in knowing we could do. And, again, we just told the defense, don't give up a big play,
right,
and we'll be fine. And I thought, I was proud of the offense kind of after Atlantic did score. We just went to work and marched it right down, and I answered it with 8 straight running plays, and kind of how it's been our MO this year. And I thought once we punched that in, and it was, I guess, it was big. It was 4th and 3, and I briefly thought about kicking a field goal because I know we have a good kicker. But I thought they were getting the ball at half. Let's punch it in. So Camden did, and I thought that was a big answer to their drive that just reiterated to our guys that we're fine.
We're going to call that the drive to the left. I think that was the drive that every play went to the left side that night, or last night, Coach.
I think you're right. Actually, you're correct.
Yes. Yeah. What was the key play for you guys last night as far as offensive? What was your go-to play? Maybe is a better way to phrase that, because you had several different things that seemed to work when you got Gavin out in front and Adam out in front of Camden, kind of on that quarterback sweep, or even the inside run game. What was kind of the play that when you needed something that you were going to lean on?
If it comes down to it, we want to get the ball to Adam Malik, and again, ideally you have Gavin Holt leading the way. So we went to a couple different sets. Our one, what we call jumbo, is when we kind of have Gavin as that sniffer back. He's just off the line of scrimmage, and it's just tough because it's a two-way go. He can pull all the way across if we're going to run Adam, on the sweep play. Otherwise, he also can do a short pull, and then you have Adam leading the way for Camden on the quarterback sweep. So it's kind of nice just to see what the defense, how they're loading that up. And then we really have a two-way go because Camden, again, has kind of the keys to he does have the keys to the offense. And, there was, again, multiple plays last night where we checked into something else if we had a good look, and I kind of helped. I didn't need to, but I helped them a little bit on that 74-yard run because we had a inside trap play called with Michael out of our under center wing tee look, and they had all the guys pinched in there, so I was yelling the audible, and Camden kind of looked at me like, I got it. He knew already that we were checking out of it. So I'd say that's probably our go-to guys.
You get up 21-7 early in the third quarter. They kind of had to go away a little bit from what they want to do, and like you guys, they want to run. They didn't use the McNeil kid much, on some of those drives. But your defense then in your secondary became kind of ball hawks. I think you had 3 interceptions in the second half.
Yeah, and that's just complimentary football, I guess, to steal a term from Kirk Ferentz. As far as the defense did their job, and fortunately, the offense was scoring, and if again, Atlantic was just as, if not more, run heavy than we are. So all of a sudden you're down 3 scores. You got to try to score faster, and it kind of worked to our advantage too, because typically what we saw in their passing sets is they took the McNeil kid out so they could keep McLaren in to help pass block. Because if they weren't going to keep a running back in, Kieran and Gavin and Miles and Ty up front were going to probably have their way with them. So it took one of their best playmakers off the field, and it just wasn't. It essentially just got them out of their game plan. And again, we were opportunistic on defense, and like I said earlier, our defensive backs have come a long way since our non-district schedule. So again, they're growing every day, and every game they're getting better.
How good is this defense right now?
Well, we're playing, over the last 4 games, they've only given up 2 touchdowns. So
yep.
If you can do that on a consistent basis, you're going to put yourself in position to win some games. So, I think, again, just like the amount of hours those guys, our assistants, put into that, I'll be the first to admit I'm blessed with great players and great assistant coaches. It's fun to see it pay off, and I think the kids know that. The kids know how much time we put into it, and that's why they believe in what we're doing, and they put in just as much time too to follow through with what we come up with. So, our defense these last 4 weeks has been a really strong point for us.
Pairings come out in a little over an hour from now here as we get closer to 2 hours from now at 10 o'clock this morning. Does it matter who you get in the first round? They're coming to your place. Do you care?
To be honest, no. And our guys are, again, confident. And if you're in the playoffs, Class 3A, you got to be top 2, and then the next best 4 with the at-large is, that's how we were in last year with that. And so anybody you're playing, there's no gimmies now. So, it's going to be a good team. We're feeling good that we'll be at home. We know, after last year, I'm not even going to guess what we might have. So, but no, to answer your question, we're just happy to, be at home and eager to see, we are eager to see who it is. But.
Yeah. You're guaranteed you don't have a 3.5-hour bus ride this year, Coach. So appreciate you joining us here today. Congratulations again on winning that district championship and another outstanding performance from your ball club last night. So best of luck, and we'll talk to you about that matchup coming up next week, later in the week.
Sounds great, Jeff. Appreciate everything, and go Tigers.
Head coach Craig Rowetter again joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We're back right after this on KCIM.
Good evening, my friends. It's time for a cause that truly transcends. No tricks, no fright, just doing what's right. Join the Dracula Drive, Halloween day and night. Well, actually, it's from 9 to 2:30 if we're going to be precise. It's at the Carrollton Center. It's a bloody good time. Every drop helps. It's no crime. The LifeServe Blood Center needs you today, so make your appointment. Don't delay. Come dressed in costume. Bring a grin, because giving blood is a win-win-win. Give life, give hope, and join the hive of the heroes of the Dracula Drive.
It's the Carroll Broadcasting LifeServe Blood Center Dracula Drive. Halloween Day, October 31st. Get your appointment at lifeservebloodcenter.org now. Or call us and we'll help you make it. 792-4321.
Jeff Blankman talking right here to Ryan Steinkamp, the head coach for the Kemper Knights, as they pick up a 35-0 victory last night against Grandview Christian in the opening round of the playoffs. Coach, congratulations. This one's got to feel pretty good. You go to 9-0 on the year.
Yeah. I thought our kids played well too. We knew Grandview Christian was a really good team. They played some good. They've had a lot of really close games this year. They never got blown out. They knew they had really good defense and good quarterback and receiver too. So overall, really helped with how our kids played.
Did they do anything different than what you guys anticipated seeing from
them?
Not a ton. We knew they'd bring pressure, and they definitely did that too. They didn't shy away from us too, so a lot of credit goes to them.
Looked like you guys were trying to get the edge with the run game early. I know you saw it on film, but did their speed in real life kind of catch you off? Because you probably knew on film, but they were shutting down that outside run pretty good.
Yeah. It was one of the things on film, you think they're, you don't know until you go against it too. Yeah, they did a great job too. I thought our O-line and coaches did a great job adjusting, just kind of going more, a little more right at them. That's kind of our best run game, is just going 4 or 5 yards, just going right at them.
What did you see out of Jaron tonight, having to cut back in some of those, that vision that he showed?
Yeah, he's got great patience, great vision, really good body control too. It's great to see him run the ball tonight.
You mentioned being able to go more up the middle. That means Austin Hayes, who had to step in at center last night, must have done a pretty nice job.
Yeah, he did a good job too. That's a big role to throw him into, and he did a nice job overall.
Coach, you get 14 on the board right away in that first quarter. What was kind of the feeling at that point?
Keep after it. They're an explosive offense that we knew that we wanted to keep going, keep playing defense. I thought our defense played really well last night.
Yeah, they made some drives on you, but you guys seem to get a turnover every time to kind of end those drives. Was there any concern with the way they were moving the ball, or did you really just like the way the defense was playing overall?
I like the way they hit us in a couple spots too, but we kind of knew, we were kind of aware that we might give up that 10-yard pass type deal. Like we want to keep the ball in front of us because they ran some really good switch and vertical routes too. That the safeties and corners knew, like, hey, we get this look. That 10-yard pass is probably going to be there, but I'm like, they still got to catch it, throw it, all that stuff. That if we get it up, like we were okay with giving that up type deal.
Braden Hoban came in with like 44 catches, led him. I think he had a bunch of catches tonight or last night, but he didn't hurt you guys at all. Looked like you guys really clamped down on him well.
Yeah, we need to keep him in front. Now let him get going. He's a big, strong, athletic kid that's going to be a really good football player at the next level.
Did you ever anticipate 7 or 8 turnovers by your defense in a game?
No.
Five in the first half.
No, I didn't. The kids were, we talked about, we haven't forced many fumbles this year too, and they were ripping at it. DBs did a great job. That seemed like, DBs will talk about keeping it in front of you. Study the film a lot because they can make the plays on the ball. It's in the air.
Lucas Deal, I thought, was in the backfield all night, especially in that first half. What did you see from the defensive line as a whole?
Oh, they had great energy and effort. They always bring that too, and they have some great power and strength and speed there. So it's great to see those kids get after it. You
and I were kind of joking during the commercial break here. That last 9:22 of the second quarter, kind of ugly football in a way, even though you kept that 21-0 lead. What did that feel like out on the field?
Yeah, we just a lot of self-inflicted wounds. So things like we know better. Like we try to do some things that weren't us. We kind of talk about guys like we don't need to play hero ball. We just need to play Kemper football. Keep it basic, keep it simple, and we'll take shots when we want to and stuff like that.
You guys got the stop for them after they stopped you, and then you got back on the board. What changed offensively to kind of allow you guys to get back into that rhythm?
I think it's a turnover to start. Get a short field, and then we ran the ball. We wanted to establish that and get that going too, and the kids did a great job of doing that.
You guys kind of got nicked up last night. Any concern with that?
No, it's part of this time of year. It's playoff postseason time too. I know the kids will give us their best, everything they got, and we just want to get them back healthy.
Braxton Vanami, about a 60-yard interception return for a touchdown. There were some pretty nice moves in there. Do you give him a hard time about being able to dance around guys the way he does?
No. I tell him I took the ball away. Sometimes I tell him just get to the outside because there's a lot of guys coming to hit you like that. But no, he was due for a pick. He had to have him this year too, so he could have had a better time to have that.
Who were some of the younger guys that got in that fourth quarter that you felt played pretty well last night?
I thought Teddy Alford did a great job. Teddy Perkins gave us some great reps out there too earlier on in the game too. Tim Myers, some of those guys that just done a great job all year.
What'd you see from some of the backup offensive linemen when they got in?
They did a nice job too, man. We were able to get the ball off, and they had their varsity guys in there still bringing pressure, and we were able to get the ball off and everything. So that was great.
What do you guys do to get ready for another game coming up next week?
Same thing, same way we prepare for each team this year too, and that's what we kind of taught the guys a lot. It's like we're always ready for the next game too, because we respect all of our opponents. We're focused on us. We want to get better. Like we're hungry all the time, and that's one thing I'm really proud of this group for.
Well, Coach, as always, appreciate all of the time. Best of luck. We'll talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for having me.
You bet. Head coach again, Ryan Steinkamp, joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. They knocked off Grandview Christian last night, 35-0.
Is your home due for an update? Don't miss Carpet One's big 2-day Friends and Family sale. This Friday and Saturday only, take advantage of huge store-wide savings on all types of flooring and more. See all offers at CarpetOneIowa.com and hurry into Carpet One in Carroll this week. Hey, moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carry-out, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Oh, that's good.
Thomas Nelson, the head cross-country coach with the Kemper Knights, joining us here on the Peach Ranch Coaches Show as we take a look back at the state qualifying meet earlier this week on Wednesday and on the season as a whole. Coaches, always good to catch up with you. How you doing? Appreciate you joining us today as well.
Doing well, and always great to speak with you.
You bet, Coach. Let's start with, of course, Wednesday. You guys went up to Gilbert there to the Iowa State course in Ames for the state qualifying meet. We talked last week. It was a loaded field, and it kind of played out that it was a loaded field.
Yeah, it was a super fast race. You've got kids from Gilbert and DMC who were just putting some really, really fast times down, and it made for an exciting race. And, you know, our kids really embraced it, and we got about 6 PRs between the boys and the girls, and a lot of kids who were just really happy overall with their times.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like with 6 PRs, you know, who ran those and how excited were everybody with how they competed?
We had Wyatt and Hayden for the boys' PR, then Grace, Anna, Shelby, and Meredith for the girls. And then we had a lot of kids who also ran, you know, their season's best, or were just, you know, a couple seconds off of a PR. So we had a lot of really happy kids, and just kids who saw kind of their effort through all season really pay off by doing their best towards the end.
Did everybody get off to kind of a good start?
Yeah, we focused on, you know, telling the kids that it is going to be a fast course, and if you want to run, you know, faster than you've ever ran before, then you've got to start off fast too. And I thought the boys especially did a really good job getting out. I was really happy with Fletch and Dayton. They put themselves in position in that first 800 to mile to be where they needed to be. And then the other guys too had a really good pack with Wyatt, Hayden, Thomas, and Oliver, who put themselves out there and up there, which helped those guys, you know, run such good times. And Cohen too got to kind of where he needed to be, and then just grew for the rest of the race and had a pretty good last race as a senior.
Able to enjoy, kind of, even though you didn't get anybody through, able to enjoy being able to see them in a lot of different places up there at that course?
Yeah, it's a wide open course. It goes around a couple of kind of bean fields. And I was running back and forth with 2 seniors who had came up as alternates, Jacob McCarter and Maddox Bellinghausen. And we were just kind of doing Jacob's, I thought it was about 300-meter wind sprints back and forth cheering for the kids. And it was a lot of fun to spend the time with those guys. And then as a team, we had Texas Roadhouse afterwards, and the kids just really had a good time and joining for kind of their final team meal. You bet.
That's a great place to eat, Coach. On the girls' side of things, a strong day as well, as you mentioned, some PRs and stuff there. How'd the girls run?
Girls did absolutely phenomenal. I know they had a really positive bus ride on the way up, and there's some really good team bonding going on. Casey finished with 21:52. It was her best time all season. And considering, you know, she was coming off surgery, I think she really rebounded and had an awesome season. Grace was our second runner at 22:13, followed by Anna at 22:18, and those were PRs for both those girls. We looked back a couple years ago. We only had about one girl when we ran here who was under 22, and that was Marie. So to have 5 girls, who was under 23, to have 5 girls under 23 last night was super, super good. And then Logan and Maddie kind of rounded out our varsity girls there, and they were both in the 24s, so I was happy for them.
Let's stay with the girls here this season as a whole. You had to run a good portion of it without Casey, you know, at least healthy, and then sounds like she, you know, kind of got back into form there late and at the state qualifying meet. But I get the sense overall you really like the steps that this team made, and so many young runners. The future, I'm getting a sense, feels pretty good to you for the girls.
Yeah, that's a really good assessment. The future is super bright. We only had one senior, Maddie Segbart, who's running varsity for us. We've got a lot of younger girls with experience with Shelby and Casey, who will be, you know, seniors next year. But then you've got, you know, a Meredith Pedig who ran a 2-minute PR at Gilbert.
Wow.
Who's a freshman, and you know, she only ran half the season. She's still just figuring out how good she can be. Logan and Anna and Grace all made a lot of good strides over the year, especially just being a little more mentally tough throughout the races and realizing like they can handle more. So I think the future is very bright for the girls team.
What meets stand out for you with the girls about how they were able to compete this year and the steps that they were able to take forward?
I think Atlantic and then the district meet were the two where we really kind of shined. Just because Atlantic with the rolling hills, a lot of the girls showed, how strong they can be and how they can stick with it. And then, districts with the times that they put down and just the mentality and attitude that they showed when they showed up, that they were ready to go and execute kind of the race plan as well as they did.
Not a lot of seniors in this group. So what did the seniors provide for you this season?
Just leadership and team bonding. I think Reagan, Maddie, and Bree, they're all just really great kids. A lot of them are involved in a lot of different activities. They're great examples for younger kids. They all have really positive attitudes, and they do the small things that make cross-country fun outside of just running. So I really appreciate everything they did, and they've really grown our girls' team. When Maddie and Reagan were freshmen, we had, I think, 10 girls out, and we were up to 18 this year. So a lot of that has to do with kind of the team that they built.
Talk about that and the future if you can continue to build and keep those kind of numbers. This girls program, is it on the verge of taking off?
That's our hope. Our middle school program, had a bunch of girls again this year. It's one of our larger middle school teams. I should give Coach Leonard a lot of credit for that. He does a good job recruiting kids, and every time, we add a couple more kids, they bring a couple friends with them, and so in size we're definitely growing, and our averages times as a team of 7 for varsity has been consistently going down. So I think the future is really strong for these kids, and we just got to make sure we work in the off season, work in the summer, and go and run even faster next year.
On the boys' side of things, kind of the opposite, a ton of seniors on that roster this year. So a lot of guys that have made a huge impact, really not over just this season, but in a career with the boys' cross-country team.
Yeah, this class, 10 seniors for the boys' side, they've been the backbone of our team for the last 4 years. We would, in lots of grades, we get 4 or 5 kids per grade. So to have 10, seniors is really exceptional. 4 of them ran varsity for basically all 4 years. Dayton, Fletch, Thomas, and Jacob. Jacob ran a little JV this year, but he's been just such a huge part of our team. And like I said, he's one of those kids, him and Maddox, who really wanted to go to the district meet just to be able to cheer on other kids. Simon Pedig came along too. These guys have just had such an impact on our program as far as teaching younger kids kind of the right habits of, showing up and just every day doing the grind and always providing feedback for, what we as coaches can do better too. So these guys have just been awesome to work with, and our team will miss them, but they have set up the infrastructure for us to continue to be successful.
What meet for the boys team? Was it Atlantic again or Glenwood to start the year? What meet stands out for you for the boys?
I think Glenwood and Harlan. Glenwood just, we got off to a really fast start. It kind of showed us exactly where we thought we'd be as far as the Hawkeye 10. We ended up finishing 3rd. We got 3rd at Glenwood too, so it kind of showed us, where we were going to be. And then Harlan, it's just a super competitive meet, and I thought our kids put some really good times down there that morning, and really showed we were still on track.
Coach, for both groups, what do you want them to do with the kids coming back in the off season? I know it's going to be a lot of going out and running on your own, and then sometimes that's tough in the wintertime, so maybe you got to run indoors at times. But what do you want to see from them to be ready for next fall?
Right now, I want them to just take a little break, take a breath. They've been running for the last 4 months here. And take a little break. And I think it's really important kids do a lot of different activities. So go do play, go do musical, go play basketball, do wrestling, do bowling, do something though. You can always run while you're doing that. You can go to the rec over the winter and stuff like that, but be part of another team. We're not a huge town, so to have kids involved in multiple things is really important. And then I hope I see a lot of them come track season or doing track or soccer, or both would be even better. And putting that work in there so we can really take advantage of that time and try to even do better next season.
Well, Coach, as always, we've enjoyed all the conversations on this Saturday mornings throughout this fall. We appreciate everything, and we look forward to catching up with you. I'm sure we'll see you plenty between now and spring, but we'll catch up with you a lot again coming up in the spring.
Thank you for your coverage, as always. We really appreciate it. Go Knights and go Tigers.
Head coach again, Thomas Nelson with the Kemper cross country teams. We're back with more of the Peach Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Earning $100 in free play at Wild Rose Casino and Hotel is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Sign up to be a part of Club Wild and you could earn up to $50 in free play on your first visit. But it doesn't stop there. You could earn an additional $25 in free play when you come back a second and third time. When we say you'd rather be here, we mean it. Join Club Wild today and you could earn up to $100 in free play. See Club Wild for details.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Is your home due for an update? Don't miss Carpet One's big 2-day Friends and Family sale. This Friday and Saturday only, take advantage of huge store-wide savings on all types of flooring and more. See all offers at CarpetOneIowa.com and hurry into Carpet One in Carroll this week.
Peach Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking to Kemper Knight head volleyball coach Rusty Wintermode as the Knights are one step away from making it back down to the state tournament. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But, Coach, first of all, congrats. A nice 2-0 week, a big win over Sadell, kind of rolled by them. And then you sweep by Des Moines Christian after a tough first set. So, got to be happy with the way the girls played so far this week.
I'm very happy. The one thing I mentioned on Thursday night after we got done was that, first of all, good morning. Obviously, It's a great morning because I get to go see my grandkids again.
Good for you.
Family and things like that. But anyway,
I'm headed to Lincoln
well,
for you.
You know what? I'll cheer you on while you're there. You cheer me on while I drive to see the grandkids. But like we were talking Thursday night, really the strength of this team has been their mental, that they haven't let it fall to them on that first set when Des Moines Christian did a nice job of hanging in there. And we knew they would. They have some very talented kids. We knew also they were very youthful in the varsity experience. But at this point of the year, there's no youthfulness, is there? You're no longer a freshman. You're a player. And, but we talked about it, and the first thing I said during about halfway through that first set against, told the coaches, said, I'm not worried about how they're playing. Physically, they have the tools. I said, right now, I like how their mentality is. They aren't showing body language. They aren't showing, oh, poop, here goes again type thing. And they haven't done that for a long time. So one thing I knew is that once we can get them through that first set and they survive, or they push it and challenge, set 2 and set 3, they were going to be able to push some more buttons and be able to solve some more problems. So I've been more pleased with the mental approach of these kids to each match right now. And as long as they can keep that mental part of the game going, their talent and athletic ability will take over the rest of the way.
I thought Des Moines Christian came out and played really quick in set 1. It was kind of almost like Red Oak tried to do you guys, where they played really fast. Thought it took a little while to adjust to it. I didn't think they were as sharp with their quick stuff in sets 2 and 3, but by then you guys had already picked up and were defending it well.
We did, and it was a nice job of Bree and Zoe being able to close the gap, especially when 7 would try and do something quick. They would get up and force her to have to kind of punch through some things. So the timing on the blocks got a lot better, because in that first set, it just felt like their quickness going up, we weren't matching that. And then just discussions, we matched it as the match went on. But the thing I liked was, Coach John Wagner, he is slowly, as the game goes, he starts to figure out who he can serve to.
Right. And
we just started talking about several years ago, 2 years ago, Lonnie Miller would say, let's just serve some lasers, and then come short. And sure enough, John kind of bit into that a little bit and got the kids to serve to some areas that they hadn't been, we watched them play Greene County. We started serving to areas that Greene County didn't even touch. So those kids were a match without seeing much of it, and so John kind of challenged the seams. And I asked, I said, how do you think it was going? He said, I think we're hitting about 60% of our serves right now, which is our goal is to get to 70, but and that number was started low and it had to get higher. So it wasn't very good in the first set, but that was okay. We figured it out. But second and third, especially the third set, I think he was really pleased, because I felt like we got to about a 90%. He called this area, they went to that area, and sure enough, we caused 7 not to be much of a factor in the offense because of how aggressive the serves. And she had to end up sometimes being a setter in this situation. So like any other team that we know, our goal is, like basketball, that kid's going to get her points. but let's make everybody else beat us, and then let's find a way to keep her out of the mix. And for several games now, we've been able to do that defensively through our serve and just get our block to be able to understand which way to rotate. And then you throw Kaylee and Mia in that back row, and then Addie in the base defense, and throw Riley in as much as Riley go in, and she just, okay, coach, I'm going in, whatever, and throw Olivia in there when I need Olivia. So these kids are all intertwined in trying to make sure they're helping each other out, because I always say, look to your left, look to your right. You're here for them, not for you. You're here for them. And so they're a fun group to be a part of. You as a coach want to find a way to make sure that they're successful. And if you can't, you better feel bad about yourself, because this is just an awesome group to be a part of.
Coach, you mentioned Zoe Bruning being a part of getting that block closed.
Yep.
What is it about her that she seems to be really good at being in the right spot and doing the right thing? She's really good at blocking.
For 5'7", we always say, Zoe, can you be 6 foot? And she says, Coach, I'm 5'7" for a reason. And so, Zoe is one of those kids that, even from her freshman year, we knew we were going to have something there, because even as a freshman, we always talk about you can't teach speed, you can't teach hustle, you can't. Zoe just has a feel for a timing on the jump, and she is probably our best blocker in a situation as far as her timing on the blocks get there faster than anybody else.
Right.
So if you can have a middle who could just, and I always say, they're not going to hit high above the net.
Right.
Just time it. And Zoe is one of those that really helps the back line out. And but the other part that's so much improved on Zoe is her offensive ability. She's so darn coachable. We talk about wherever you're at in that middle. I don't care if you run by the center, but run something different. But if you're always by the center, I want you to be crossing. You can never hit right in the middle. And she has really understood that, because she's seen the success she has. So Zoe's one of those kids that's so darn coachable. A kid who didn't have much time at the beginning, who has built into time and has just taken advantage of everything she's had. And kind of like, we've always talked, go prove a coach wrong all the time. Right. And if you can prove a coach wrong, they're going to find a way for you to be on the court. And I don't care if I don't get a lot of points out of you, but if I can get a lot of blocks or touches, that's a win-win for all of us. So that's Zoe in a nutshell. Just a fun kid to have, and just very coachable.
Coach, you always know you're going to be challenged in a regional final, or at least you should be. It's the top 16 teams in the state. Unity Christian comes in. They jumped up in the rankings here in the last ranking, so it's kind of a 6-7 matchup. Yeah. So two teams that probably should be meeting in Iowa City, but now you got to meet them on Tuesday. What do you know about them?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know a ton about them other than they're climbing in the rankings. As you said, they have a middle hitter that is very, very talented. I think she's about 5'11", 6 foot. But she hits almost 400, so they're going to go to her. But she has twice as many hits or attempts as any other hitter. All the other hitters are good role player hitters, and they're about the 190, 200, somewhere around there. So they have the ability to be very successful. The one thing I've got to go look at is what's their serve receive like, can they handle our serve, that type thing. So we're gonna have to work to make sure that we're trying to take away as much as we can what their best hitter does, and then really surround ourselves and find tendencies on what their other hitters do. But you're right, top 16 teams, you get 2 in the finals like this. Everybody needs to get here and watch it. Whatever happens, you always hope that you're the one on top. But I really feel like that's going to be a really fun match. That's going to prepare whoever. Hopefully us, it'll prepare us to play whatever we're going to have to play, down in Coralville if we get that opportunity.
And I know it's a red out night. Mia and Colby came up and told us before the game, so it's a red out night on Tuesday, so everybody remember, even if it's Husker red, you can wear it, right?
They're not going to argue on the red. They're just going to wear red, so that's good to see. And the girls, that's another thing. They talk about what they want to do for the next game. There's just a sense of calmness and confidence, and sometimes in a group of kids that's not always easy to have both of them, and there is, they like each other, and the cohesiveness is fun to really watch on these kids as they continue to grow.
Well, Coach, have fun with the grandkids. Appreciate you joining us.
I will. You enjoy Lincoln, and again, thank you to everything Carroll Broadcasting is doing for Kemper Catholic Athletics.
You bet. Head Coach Rusty Wintermote here on the Peach Ranch Coaches Show. We're back right after this on KCAM, part of the CB Sports Network.
That's you, trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks.
Turn it off!
Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local, independent agents to tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance, because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple, human sense. This is Amanda Reesberg with Lens Insurance. Give me a call to discuss your insurance needs for home, auto, and business. 792-1700.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking some Carroll Tiger volleyball right now with head coach Riley Ludwig. Tigers wrapped up the season earlier this week. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you. How you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Coach. Sorry for Tuesday night. I know you and the girls went over and gave what you had, but just fell a little bit short against OABCIG to wrap up a strong season this year. Let's start with the OABCIG match before we touch on the whole season a little bit. How did you feel like things went? What went well and what did not maybe go as well as you had hoped?
We didn't start as strong as what we could have. And that definitely showed in the first and second sets. But we started to gain a little bit of momentum there, and we started competing and got that third set. And I think, we were playing our game. It just didn't last for as long as what we needed it to. A big momentum shift there in that fourth set. And then, we only lost by 3 in that last one, but it was just, it was tough to not start as the way we could have, the way we should have, and we just couldn't really get it under control. But that third set, we were in control pretty much the whole set. You could tell that, we were ready to win, and it was really fun to see Amanda get her 500 kills, and without winning that third set, she would have been like 4 short of it. So I think winning that third set I'm not just for her, but just for the whole team, knowing that ending the season on some sort of a positive at least.
What was the difference in that third set, do you think?
We started competing. Our offense, we weren't making a ton of errors. Our passing was great. We were able to set all 3 options in the front row. And we started playing some really, really strong defense they had some really tough hitters. So.
You mentioned a momentum shift there in set 4. I know you guys had a chance late. I was listening as I was coming back from my game, and you were right there. It was tied. What changed? What do you think? What do you think that momentum shift was?
They scored a couple on serve receive, and we just couldn't quite come back from it. We dug a little bit of a hole, and it was probably that 3 or 4 point hole, and we just couldn't get back up there and before they scored that 25th point.
Coach, for the season as a whole, I know the girls, I could tell in listening to the interview with you and Amanda the other night after the match, that very brokenhearted, but you had some really good runs during the year. What did you see from the team throughout the season? Where did you feel like you grew this year as a team?
There was definitely a steady improvement throughout the season. I didn't ever feel like we were, going backwards. We improved the entire season, whether it was serve receive right there at the beginning and during the summer. That's a big thing we focused on, and I think that stayed pretty consistent. We were serving aggressive, and we were not missing a ton all the time. Our hitting efficiency improved a ton from the middle of the season to the end. We quit making errors. Our defense got better. We weren't letting balls drop. We were reading hitters a little bit better. And then just overall as a team, we started working better together. And there was just that steady improvement of all of those things the entire season.
What do you think kind of started to click, or where in the season did you feel like it started to click?
Right about in the middle there somewhere. Just together, the rotation just clicked. It was a lot of playing, a lot of tournaments. We're spending a lot of time together, and I think that goal of winning and realizing that, the end of the season is coming, and it's kind of up to us when we want that to end, and we got to start working together and playing together and kind of figuring this out as a team and not individually, and it just seemed to click.
Favorite tournament that you feel like you guys played in this year as far as is how well the team played?
Probably either our home tournament or the Greene County tournament. Second place at both, but when we were in Greene County, we were down like 20-13 and came back and won. and we were only going to 21. So that might have been when everything kind of clicked, realizing that we can do this. We can play, 9 points in a row without making a mistake on our end, and really push points when we need to. So that might have been when it clicked. That was the beginning of this month. So
I was going to say, what was that atmosphere like during that rally?
I think just the confidence was just through the roof. They knew they could do it, and they weren't playing scared. They were still playing aggressive, and that's a big thing of it. It seemed like when we kind of play scared is when we make those silly mistakes and we can't seem to get the ball over the net. So knowing that we have to stay aggressive in order to score points against this team, and that's what we did. So.
Was there another match throughout the year that wasn't on a weekend, like one of the normal Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday matches, where when you look back at the 2025 season, that'll be the match where you say, that was our match, that's where we played our best?
We played really well against Bondurant. I know we didn't win that night, but we were neck and neck pretty much the whole time. There wasn't ever really a blowout or anything like that. And that was pink out night. And then Carlisle, we dropped that first set by quite a bit and came back and just came back and won the next three, which, it's not easy to do that. And especially when we lost by quite a few points there, but they seem to have woken up and just really started playing. But again, we stayed aggressive during both of those weeknight matches, and we weren't playing scared. We were being smart. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Going to be graduating some seniors. I think Mason asked you the other night in the postgame about this group, but year two for you as a head coach. You've had those girls for 2 years. You were an assistant the year before, so 3 years with that group of seniors. What did they mean to you, and how did they help this season?
Yeah, they definitely stepped into that leadership role. I kind of talked to Mason about losing 5 or 6 seniors the year before and having quite a few less than that, and having to step into those, shoes that were, those seniors the year before were big leaders for us. And this last year, those girls, they stepped right up. They were ready for it, and they did a great job leading this team. I don't know if I've laughed as much ever at a practice or in the middle of sets. Their personalities just really came out, and the whole team it was just great to be around them. But being, you always wish for one more year with each of the groups, and I just can't imagine what it's going to be like after having a group for, the full 4 years. But it'd be nice to have them back one more time. And they just started playing so well, and there was so much improvement from last year this year for their own skills, but also just the way that they led the team. And last year they could look up to someone else, and this year it was them being looked up to. So it was really cool to see them step into that leadership role and kind of start to lead the team and do all that. So.
Played a lot of juniors, even some sophomores. What do you think that they took away from this season, and what do you want them to focus on, for next year?
Yeah, I just knowing that, the whole season really does matter, and, coming in right away in the summer and doing what we did and improving on that serve-receive skill and being able to stay consistent with that, I think says a lot about, what the summer means, what the beginning of the season means, and then how much it matters to continue working hard the entire time. And then just, like I said, the fun that they had. I don't know if we would have been as successful if they would not have been having that much fun. This is a team that plays so much better when they have energy and when they're having fun playing. And I think that says a lot about this team, but also just about how much fun it is to be in the gym. So I hope next year they're excited and they're ready, and not only to work hard, but to win and to have fun doing so.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all of the time all season long. Thanks for always getting us the stats and everything we need to be able to do our job. Appreciate you joining us each week for the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. So thank you for everything, and looking forward to next season.
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Head coach Riley Ludwig again with the Carroll volleyball team. We're back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up here on KCIM.
This October 28th, your voice can be a voice of hope.
We're teaming up with St. Anthony Hospital for a full day on air, raising awareness and support for something our community truly needs: a brand new PET CT scan machine right here at home.
From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., we're dedicating the day to stories, information, and the opportunity to give back.
Because when you give more than money. You give answers. You give comfort. You give hope.
Join us for Voices of Hope, Tuesday, October 28th.
One community, one cause, one powerful day.
We're back here on the Beach Ranch Coaches Show talking Carroll girls swimming right now as head coach Deb Danner joining us as she does for about 9 months out of the year. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and it seems like this is getting longer and longer.
It does. I had to throw a little humor in to start it. You know, I think it's been a long week for both of us. I know it's been a long week for your girls as they're going through that really tough week that we talk about every year. So you guys did swim, though, on Thursday night up at Sioux City. Last weekend, of course, you were down at Lewis Central. So overall, first, how is HELL week going right now for the girls?
It's going as planned. They are tired. They are sore. So, it's going exactly how I expect it to go. They're not enjoying it, but they will enjoy the results at the end when we get to regionals.
Yeah, and it's set up perfect for you to be in the best of shape and the best of times coming up at regional. So let's start probably before everything completely started to wear down a little bit. But let's bounce back to last Saturday down at Lewis Central. What did you feel about there? I know you finished up fourth that day. How did the day go overall?
Yeah, so the girls really had a pretty good day. We swam some really good times. A few personal bests, so that was always good to see. Briley Behrens ended up going to 106 in her 100 butterfly. That's her personal best, and she's getting it closer and closer to making it into a qualifying time. So we're really hoping that will happen, but we take it one day at a time. We'll get there when we get there. But, all the girls did a very good job. Our medley relay did very well. Actually, all three of our relays did very well, so I was real happy with that. We had some great swims, and, they felt good, and they looked good.
You mentioned Briley getting close to a qualifying time. What does she need to still cut off? What she got to get to?
Well, the automatic qualifying time is, it's a 100, I believe. No, she's not close to the automatic qualifying time, but last year's cutoff time was a 103.
Yep. So,
she's at a 106, and that's a very doable thing when we get to regional. So, she'll have a good taper, and I think she will have a real good shot at it.
And people probably don't realize cutting 3 seconds is not that difficult in swimming. You think it would be, but it's probably not that difficult with the taper.
With a taper, yeah. Without a taper, it's a pretty tough thing to do. But she'll do well. We get our taper in just right, and everybody will have some great time cuts.
What did you like about your relays? You mentioned that they swam well. What did you like about the relay Saturday?
Yeah, they were just motivated to go. They looked good. Their starts, their exchanges were right on where they needed to be. Turns looked amazing. So, they're coming together as a relay, and they're getting it figured out. It's just things just looked really good technique-wise, and I think they're just about ready to go with it.
Talk a little bit about up at Sioux City on Thursday night. I know with it being that week that the times weren't great, but they're probably about where you want them or need them to be, during this week. So what stood out for you about Thursday night?
Their times weren't great. They're not super happy with it, but I'm fine with it. They're sore, they're tired. So, for most of them have never gone through this, so they don't get it yet. And they'll get it. They'll understand as we keep going. But we did actually have a couple of girls swim a couple of best times. So
nice.
They were happy with that. Harper Ladwig went a best time in her 200 IM. So, that looked great for her. Then she turned around and swam the 100 fly and didn't have the best time. But she's not a super fan of that event anyway. But with it being the week it is, we kind of swim some different events, so not the normal events. So, kind of expected what we got. So it went all right.
How much longer does the week last for you guys with it? Are you going to be coming out of it and starting to taper by Tuesday, or will you still be in that swimming a lot and kind of keeping them where they're tired and sore and maybe not as comfortable with things as they'd like?
No, I'll give them just a little bit off on Monday before Tuesday's meet, but then we'll go right back at it really hard. The rest of the week will be a tough week, and then the following week is when we'll start our taper.
Okay, I was wondering when that taper was going to be. I knew it wasn't just one full week, but I couldn't remember if it was 2 full weeks or not. Coach, what's the reasoning in giving them a little lighter on Monday?
Yeah, well, we have a meet Tuesday, and I want to see the girls do well. Thursday we swam against Sioux City and Lewis Central. Knew it was going to be a tough meet, whether we were ready for it or not, so I wasn't real concerned about that. So Tuesday going in to see Perry and Algona, we have a shot at doing well in some events. So just give the girls a little opportunity to have a good meet before we finish destroying them at practice. That's probably a nice way of putting it. So,
what is Algona and Perry? What challenges do they present for you guys on Tuesday?
Yeah, Algona's got a girl who is an exceptional sprinter, so that'll be tough. She's a 50 and 100 sprinter. And then Perry's got a girl who pretty much can swim anything very well. So, I don't know what they're going to do with their lineups yet, but, there'll be some good swims in there, and, we've got some girls that will do well also.
Well, Coach, as always, we always appreciate all of the time. I get to bug you for 9 months out of the year, and then you get a break from me for a while. So we're not quite halfway through, but, we're about a third of the way through it all. So
we're just about there, yep.
Head Coach Deb Danner joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We're coming back right after this on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM, KCIM.
Hey, moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carry-out, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
That's going to wrap up our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show for this Saturday morning. Thanks again to Craig Rowetter, Ryan Steinkamp, Thomas Nelson, Rusty Wintermote, Riley Ludwig, and Deb Danner for joining us here. We'll be back again next week. We'll talk with Craig Rowetter, Ryan Steinkamp, also Rusty Wintermote, and Deb Danner coming up again next week. Playoff pairings going to be announced at 10 o'clock today. Mason Elin will get those up on the website for you a little bit later on this morning, shortly after they come out. We'll have Carol Kemper and Audubon in action coming up next Friday. All three of those are going to be covered across our Carroll Broadcasting network of stations and the CB Sports Network. So we will have all three of those playoff teams covered for you again coming up next week. Appreciate you joining us here again. You can go back and listen to the broadcast last night. All four of our radio broadcasts from last night are available on the website. As again, those were podcasted last night. You can find the video broadcast of the Kemper and the Carroll games on the CB Sports Network YouTube channels. Our player of the game banners for all four games last night are on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Game recaps and scores from the night last night. We'll have scores and game recaps on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report. Those will probably be posted late tonight or on Sunday sometime, so you can check out those on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com. That's going to wrap things up on this Saturday morning. Appreciate you joining us. Have a great weekend.